Everyone, and we return. So, on to our next step, we're going to be making our chicken. We're going to be dredging it, and then we're going to be frying it in this canola oil, which is going to be heating at 350 degrees. So, but what I'm actually doing is I'm going to overheat this oil to something like 375 degrees, because when I put a lot of food in, the oil temperature is going to plummet, which isn't going to be good. So we're going to overheat it to compensate for the temperature loss that's going to happen when we actually put food in it. But onto the actual dredging of our chicken. So first, we're gonna make sure we soak up all the extra seasoning we have. We're not gonna let it go to waste. Then we're gonna take our chicken and put it into the flour. I've heard people say that you can use a two-hand method, one wet, one dry, but I found that hasn't really worked for me. So I'm going to just go all in. Now, the secret to getting some good fried chicken is to this shallow fried chicken in this case, is we want to make sure every crevice is coated with flour and egg and all the good stuff. You don't want to leave anything out. Move our chopsticks away there for a second. Coat our chicken in the egg after coating in the flour. Shake off any excess egg, because we always go down to the wire with egg. And coat it in our panko. As I believe I was mentioning earlier, I've seen people do double coats with pork, but I'm not sure if we need to do double coat with chicken. And the reason I say that is because these chicken tenders, at least when my grandma does it, they always seem to get crispy with just one crispy coat just one. So I think we can only do one. I've gotten crispier with two, but I'm not sure if that's really needed with chicken. I'm just debating whether to do two or not, actually, the more I think about it. We can do two. Why not? Two is always better than one, because I've always gotten crispier results that way. And we want to make sure this is extra crisp. We'll do a double coat. You know, back in the day, people actually made breadcrumbs with People actually made breadcrumbs by crushing up stale pieces of bread. But with a lot of modern dough conditioners, you can't actually get bread to be stale enough for breadcrumbs after a short little while. So you actually need to wait really, really long before you can actually make breadcrumbs. It's clear to me that we're going to need a lot more egg if we're going to do two coats. And my oil is bubbling. Probably for a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly rinse my hands off. Lower the heat on my oil. And temperature check. Temperature check. So if you can see right here what I'm doing, I'm checking the temperature with my thermometer. Right now we're at a solid 320 in the middle of the pan, so we're going to need to heat that just a little longer. But on the bright side, this is giving us perfect time to actually dredge our chicken, which is really nice. So I'll move my dredged chicken here. I'll start on the next chicken tender piece. Make sure to hit everything that we need. Very last bit of egg in there. Recoat everything. So clearly we're going to need to beat some more eggs into dabble and sprinkle a lot more panko. That's okay. It's worth it to have wonderfully double-coated pieces of chicken. We're still recording, which is good. So we'll continue on with that. For breadcrumbs, I'm using a Kikkoman panko breadcrumbs, so you can use any type of panko breadcrumbs. I found panko breadcrumbs generally get us to be more crispy than the normal breadcrumbs. You need to get a scissor. So I've been using the panko breadcrumbs instead. Though there are definitely reasons to use seasoned breadcrumbs for other dishes if you don't want to use panko and you want the seasoning in the breadcrumbs. We'll start with that. Check our oil temperature. That's actually really hot oil, so we'll tone that down a little bit. And what we're gonna do is actually we'll put in our first 3 pieces of chicken. Always carefully ensuring that we lay away. And let's check the temperature. Still way too hot. We're gonna put that oil and simmer. You know what we can do? We'll actually put in the 3rd piece of chicken. See how quickly brown that's getting? That's looking so good. Oh, these are looking so good. That one's not letting me flip it. Okay. What's this looking like? That's looking the perfect frying temperature. Sometimes cooking requires a little improvisation on the spot. I'm checking internal temperature of these chickens. These do need to be cooked for a little longer. Going around with this one here. Unfortunately, these internal temperatures look like they're a little low. I'm just going to quickly Google what temperature chicken is done at, but I'm going to keep the oil at a very low temperature so that I can, or relatively low temperature for frying, so that I can, chicken is done at 165. I'm getting very mixed readings on some of these. That part's almost done. What about this part here? I'm getting very mixed readings. Some parts say that they're like in the 140s, but other parts are saying that they're in the low 100s. It's very weird. This one's almost done. What about this one? That chicken looks done. I'll take this off. Sorry, that must be the timer for my rice. Let me just quickly turn that off. But this is on the bright side. This is our first piece of finished chicken. And I'm very glad that my dad turned off the timer. Thank you, Dad, for turning off the timer for me. What's this one at? That one's not done, but I think we can flip it over one more time. Yeah, we want to get that side. What's this one? That one's not done. What about this one? This one's on the verge of being done. These double-coated ones are really thick. I really like this. I'm going to take this one out and let residual heat cook it a little more. Because what this one is reading when I put it directly into the chicken is 160, internal temperature of 162. And this is going to be cooking a little more when I actually put it into the pan again, when we actually cook the chicken bowl. This one isn't reading as done internally. Put the oil up a little bit. Let's check our oil temperature here. This is solidly good. I'm gonna start dredging the. I'm gonna start. This one will be done in a matter of seconds, which is good. Although this one is the most like deep brown, I actually think I like this one the most. This one's done. Alright, I'm taking this off. This one is a really deep, dark brown, but this is looking wonderful. It still has a little burn, unfortunately, but that just means it's extra crispy. These are our 3 tenders so far. But on the bright side, what we're going to do now is we're going to wait for we're going to check our oil temperature. It's still high. This is good. This is good. But what we're going to do now is we're going to we're going to beat 2 more of our eggs. And then we're going to dredge some more chicken, then we'll fry it. Frying the chicken is the step that really takes the longest. What's going to happen is next is really the shorter step, and the shorter step is going to be cutting up our onion, cooking the onion, and cooking more eggs with the chicken. So all in all, we're almost done. But frying the chicken is the longest and the toughest step. But it's better to get the long and tough stuff done first. Sorry, I'm just... But on the bright side, the double coating yielded us the crispiest, most wonderful chicken. And you saw what happened when we gave that chicken a lot of time and love. It was just wonderful. I love it. That might be the crispiest chicken that I've ever made, besides the karaage. It's one double-coated tender. I think we'll fry all 4 of these tenders at once. But I just have to coat them first. Make sure to leave another coating. I didn't even get coated the first time, so we gotta coat that part. I'll be able to stretch that egg for the second one. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we'll have enough for a second coating on this one. But it's okay if we just bunch everything together with the first coating. We give it a lot of extra love on this. That's the last bit of our egg. I mean, we have enough for a little second coating, but not really one that we could give to the rest of them. There we go. All of our chicken is drenched now. That's wonderful. Alright, we'll take a look at our oil temperature. What's that looking like? Oof. Whoa! Sorry, a little bit of excess water got on my hand. Whoops. That's a lot. We're going to lower that. Like, we're just going to straight up shut the heat off on that. That's really hot oil. Yeah, that's got to come down a second before we fry it. Whoa, that's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's getting cooled off a little bit. But on the bright side, there's more stuff that we can do. We can we're gonna cut up our onion now. So we'll move this into the sink for now, and this into the sink. This into the sink too. We'll get that cleaned up in a second. But now what we can do is cut up our onion. See, we're gonna be very efficient with our time here. There's gonna be no wasted minute. What's this looking like? All right, it's coming down. This is. Wait, no, it's still going up. Never mind. Come down significantly. We're just going to wait for that to cool off a little longer. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna cut down the middle of the onion. And then make it into little strips like this. If you find that you're running out of space, you can also move the onion on its side and do it like that. If you find that you're running out of space here and the knife is getting too close to your fingers, what you can do is you can actually move the onion from this orientation to that orientation, and then cut it like that. And then do it again, like this. And do the same for this side here. Alright, so now that our onions are cut, we're going to check on their oil temperature. Good, it's below 400. No, it's still going up, never mind. It's right at 400. If we put all of these in at once, do we think we could drop the oil temperature? I think we could. So the oil temperature now. That's good, we dropped the oil temperature. Get our tongs ready. Let all this good stuff fry off. Rice is done. Wash is done. Chicken's still frying. Chicken's still frying. Put our oil temperature on. Put our flame on. We need to put our oil temperature up a little more because we've dropped a lot more than what we would have wanted, but that's okay. Still getting our crispy crust. There we go, we're at the right temperature now. That can flip. This can get flipped. That can get flipped. That can get flipped. What are our internal temperatures looking like right now? Hey, we're getting up there. This is good. These chickens are going to come out really nice. But these guys on the bottom are need a lot more time. That's okay though. Still filling, which is good. These chickens are nearing the done phase. They're gonna be down a little bit. This one's almost done. This one's almost done. I believe this one's done. Oh, meat window, good. Yeah, this one's done. Nope, this one's here. Oh, ow. Make sure not to burn yourself. This one's done. Left. Left. This one's done. This one's done as well. Alright, our chicken's done. That's wonderful. Ready? Put that away. And we're gonna move on to our next thing. We're actually gonna be making the the bowl dish itself. go. Alrighty, so now we're gonna start making the actual bowl dish itself. So we're gonna take 1.5 tablespoons of sake. This is alcohol right here. Whoop. It's gonna get off. 1.5 tablespoon, most of my head there. We're going to put in 2/3 cup of our dashi. Steamy. Sorry, I got to pour out the rest of that first. Two-thirds cup of our dashi. 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. This is low sodium soy sauce. You can use normal soy sauce as well. I've never actually noticed the difference between low sodium and regular sodium soy sauce in cooking, so we use the low sodium. Then 1.5 tablespoons of mirin, our rice cooking wine. Now mirin adds a lot of sweetness. I'll just have teaspoon, not have tablespoon. Sorry, I gotta put in a little more of everything. Have tablespoon. So I'll just put in a little, just a splash more of everything. That was a little too much soy sauce. But we'll balance it out with some more sake in here. Sorry, the measurements came out a little wonky. But our dashi's okay. Then we need 1.5 teaspoons. We need 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. And since this is a half teaspoon, if we just put 3 half teaspoons, we're gonna be okay. Three half teaspoons. So now we're gonna put in our wilted onions, and then we're gonna put in our onion slices. That's good. And we're gonna cover it and bring it to a boil. I'm sorry I haven't covered up and brought it to a boil yet. We're gonna bring that to a boil on medium-high heat. No, sorry, that's the other one. Cover that and bring that to a boil over medium-high heat. In the meantime, we're going to beat some more eggs. This is 1 egg. And get out a little extra. This is 1 egg. You could use 1, 2, or 3, or however many eggs is to your liking. I'll pause for a second while this is boiling, and then go get some more eggs for the rest of the dish.